Hi everyone. So I just wanted to come on and say something about this R. Kelly um interview that took place. Even though I haven't seen it, I don't know that I'm gonna watch it, but I keep seeing snippets online about his outburst, and so I just wanted to talk about that portion because I have seen snippets of that. Um so what I basically want to say is based on what I've seen, well, okay, well, first of all, like, I don't think there's a discussion about whether or not he's guilty. Like, it's beyond evident that he's guilty. I mean, he's written songs about underage girls. The whole thing with, the singer Aaliyah, all these women have come forward and, described what went on and like the same MO and the same sort of way that he's groomed and abused these women. So there's that. Like, to me, that's a whole lot of smoke for there not to be fire. And the fact that he married a 15-year-old girl. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm just saying. So this isn't a discussion of whether or not he's guilty, because I think, I don't know, you're at this point, you're just about willfully ignoring it if you still say, well, maybe he didn't do it. Um, I'm just gonna talk about the outburst. So what struck me as a person who's had experience with narcissism and maybe even some sociopaths I've encountered, that's a classic textbook, like the outburst thing. Sometimes these types of people will create a diversion by behaving as if, like, to you and me, it would seem like, oh, this person's visibly upset because this is a big deal. That's what they're doing. No, it's an outburst that is basically orchestrated to create a diversion and to throw the interviewer off, to distract people from, like, asking them seriously, like, what were you thinking? Did you do this? Like, we know you did it. Say you did it, like, whatever. They'll, like, play on people's emotions. So people who hurt other people, especially in very serious ways, such as engaging in human trafficking and child molestation and domestic violence, abuse of all various different types, what they will do a lot of times is they sort of learn and study human emotions and the way normal healthy people respond, and they'll try to manipulate that. And so that's what that is. They, like, that type of person knows that, oh, if I get really loud and if I cry and if I become, like, angry, A, it intimidates people. B, the average person is going to say, oh, well, the average person is going to be thrown off and just assume, wow, this person must be really upset because, like, this is such an out of the box, like, over the top kind of response. They must be really hurt by this, when really it's just this person who knows how people respond because they've spent so much time manipulating perception, emotions, everything they've had to manipulate and leverage to get away with the things they do. They throw those things right back at people once people start to suspect that this person's up to something. They'll do that. And I'm sure we've all had, like, a family member, a friend, somebody we know who engages in histrionic behavior that's over the top, overly emotional, loud, high-pitched voice, whatever, in your face. They might physically get in your face as if they're gonna hit you, but they don't hit you, that sort of thing. And even Gail said that people called her up after and asked if they were afraid that he would hit her because of, like, the way he was flailing and whatnot. It's an intimidation tactic. And it's a distraction, and it's to throw you off your, off guard, off your feet sort of tactics, so that you're so thrown off that you can't really question the person. You can't really focus on getting to the bottom of the truth because they've derailed your train of thought, and you now have this giant scene to contain that they're creating. So that's what I think that is. I will also speak on the child support arrest that followed the arrest for, what was it, like, human trafficking charges or something like that. whatever he was arrested for first recently. I think uh the justice system, the powers that be, whomever it is, they're determined to get him this time. And I don't say that in his defense. I say it, the timing is a little weird. Maybe the Lifetime documentary really did spark some things. Maybe this is happening. Maybe he's taking one for the pervert team, so in hopes that, the public will divert their attention away from the Me Too. So maybe I was thinking about this and you know, these are all like theories, but maybe, maybe someone, criminal justice system, entertainment industry, someone, whatever, whomever is pulling the strings, because it is a bit odd that like now, it's a big deal and they're doing whatever they can to get him in front of judges and indicted on multiple things, the child support, the human trafficking, this and that, all of which are completely valid. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just talking about the timing. Perhaps it's possible that someone has decided that, well, if we give the public the Time's Up R. Kelly movement, they'll leave us alone about this Me Too movement, because a lot of people would go down if, you know, the Me Too movement were to really, really, really like become a really serious thing, and, you know, everyone would come out of the woodworks with their stories. A lot of people would be exposed. So I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm not even like touching on that. That's like whatever. I'm just going to talk about this R. Kelly thing. But whatever the case may be, and here's another thing that kind of like stuck out to me, in the snippets I watched of the video. Now he has all this emotion when he's had decades, literally decades, to speak out and to say he's innocent and to get upset and, you know, to communicate about this through his music instead of making more music about like, you know, like whatever, instead of laying low, instead of blah, blah, blah. Like he's had decades of his career not being ruined by this. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like, suddenly you're this emotional and oh my goodness, they're trying to ruin my career. Like what? Where was all this before? You know? But regardless, and this is the point I want to, you know, like reiterate in light of the fact that I did just mention, oh, the timing's odd. I'm not saying he shouldn't be going to jail at all. I think it should have happened a long time ago. If it happens now, great. I mean, it should happen. The fact that he kind of portrays himself, and I saw the snippet where he says, but there are real girls who really are shackled, and he's like, you know, gesturing their arms are chained. Again, like the level of detail, the level of weirdness, like it's as if he's concocting the story, which yes, it's true that there are people who are being like held hostage, kidnapped, whatever, kind of like he's doing to those girls, those women, young women, the two women. I don't know, just the demeanor just seems very orchestrated and distraction-y. But my whole thing is, if you feel this way and if you just want to be left alone, why not let those two girls go? Because normal people who are in relationships, if you're in a normal relationship with no, like, depriving people of food or whatever the crap is going on over there, making them do like nasty stuff and have like co-partners and, you know, multiple people living there, like whatever that is, normal people who are just like in one-on-one, vanilla, whatever relationships, I'll go on the record and say that I don't believe that he's in a relationship with these people. I think it is abuse and holding them hostage and probably some sex trafficking and whatever. But, getting to what I'm trying to say, everyday people in dating relationships that don't involve crimes, if someone's family is constantly calling, or they're against you dating this person, if they're coming to your house, if they're doing all kinds of, you know, things to oppose the relationship, most normal people will eventually say, you know what, this is too much, and they'll back away from it. Let alone if people are doing interviews with the news, if you're facing criminal charges over what you're doing, but you won't just like let them go and be like, oh, okay, no, this isn't, this is too much, this is too far, I want a relationship with my kids. I'm getting so much negative attention, people are thinking it's something it's not, no, this is, we gotta let this is it, go back to your parents or whatever. That's what a normal person would do if they're not doing something wrong, just because like it's too much of a liability because of the illusion that it creates. That's how I believe in this case it's not an illusion, and he really is doing, well, that's one of many reasons I believe he's really is doing weird stuff over there with those women. But anyway, apart from that, yeah, apart from that, I always say with like OJ Simpson, with George Zimmerman, with Bill Cosby even, although Bill Cosby didn't have like a prior criminal record, but so he quasi fits into this category. I think that this individual, the R&B singer that I'm talking about, I feel weird about saying his name for some reason. R. Kelly, he falls into the category of these people who cannot stay out of trouble. It's like they skirt by, and they should have been convicted of something a long time ago, but they can't leave well enough alone, and they bring the scrutiny back on them one way or another. They can't be quiet, they can't lay low, they can't stay out of trouble, they can't stop victimizing people. Like, whatever the case may be, they keep drawing attention to themselves in these weird ways. And like the fact that he's holding multiple women in his apartments and houses and stuff like that, and not paying child support. Like, what the crap? They just can't leave well enough alone, and for that reason they end up eventually going to prison, even though they've gotten away with whatever they've been doing for so long. And I think this is no exception, and this is just like, this is his, like OJ had his moment where he got involved in that thing in Vegas with like breaking into the hotel room, whatever the case may be, and now he's in prison. This is yeah, this is this individual's moment, I think, because I don't think they're gonna let it go, first for the other thing, and now child support, and they want their money in full, which, I mean, he can probably pay it in full, but after that it's gonna be something else, parking tickets, whatever. They're not gonna let up, and I do believe he will be convicted this time, and I don't feel a way about it, about time, finally. At least those girls will be free, and like, hopefully, I don't even, like, hopefully they'll get like some treatment, some therapy, something, like go to get some inpatient treatment and rehab from what they've been experiencing these years. Because I don't know that like leaving them with their families is the way to go. I don't know, like they need intensive therapy, and they probably need to be away from their families for a bit and just like isolated with some healthcare professionals who can rehab them and debrief them and treat them for whatever made them vulnerable in the first place, and whatever, like a lot of brainwashing and Stockholm syndrome probably kept them there. So that's what I think. I don't know that I will watch that. I don't think I'll watch the Neverland documentary either. But if I do, I'll come back and do like a full proper analysis. But I'm just like, Michael Jackson's dead. R. Kelly is finally like, and I will say that, like, I don't know, like, it's clear as day what R. Kelly was doing. But Michael Jackson, I don't know enough to like be able to say, anything about that necessarily, despite all the accusations. And I'm just, he's not alive, so I'm not necessarily inclined to listen to go back and watch that documentary, and especially with like some of the things that have come out about it. And I don't know. I'm just here for other people's analysis and commentary, I guess, because we're not talking about a person who has a potential of going to prison or for something they may or may not have done. So it's kind of like, I don't know, if there were victims and they want to come out and talk, then so be it. If people are making things up, I hope that's exposed. Like, I just, I can have more of a neutral stance on that because, yeah, for those reasons. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to do this video. I'll be back with more at some point. My sinuses are really irritated right now. But yeah, until the next video, take care, be well, and I will see you soon. Bye now.